Good morning. Welcome to Frank's School. It's a lovely morning. This ash, wonderful ash, died last year, and we had to have the branches cut off. It's still a little bit of living there. But anyway, that's not why I'm here. I'm here because I want to show you. So where is all this stuff going on? Down there is the two roof benches for the three-legged windmill in progress. There is the site where I will build the tower that will hold the three-legged windmill. Right there is where I'll build the sweeps. It's a bench. Actually, I've made just 4 building windmill sweeps. Here is where I will build water wheels. It's a bench specifically made for building water wheels. That's the hub of one, which I probably will build, but the pressure, this fall yet, but the pressure's off because the season has changed. There still is water coming out of the mountain, but it's really slow now. That's why I've sort of gone over to wind. All right, let's go a little closer to this. The hub is sitting on it's one side of a spool. I paid dearly for them, actually. I paid $10 for each of those spools, what's left of the spool, but I really wanted it as a bench. And then over here is one that was in better shape. Again, I say I paid $10 for each one of those, and that's where I will build the sweeps. There's a hole right in the middle, and my sweeps aren't going to be that long, but I laid that out to just see what it would be like to work like that. Okay, now I'm going to walk down there. That's an equilateral triangle or pyramid that will support this base, which will go on top of it. It's just a model. This stuff is barely, you see it's held together with baler twine and just pins. It's a study, you might call it. But what's maybe more important is I've leveled up a spot where I can actually build it, and I use the chimney blocks, so I can tie it down to them. They'll be heavy enough that I can actually try it without it just blowing over. Now the site of this, let me back up just a little bit. Where to put this? It mattered a good bit to me, and you can see I've used these trampoline tops. It mattered a good bit to me because it may become somewhat permanent, fairly permanent. Here I may build 8 by 12 hut. There, an 8 by 12 hut as a workshop. I think the whole thing will have to move away, and then that spot for where I actually build these, because I probably will build a lot. At the moment, I can imagine 11 windmills that I will be building maybe within the year. And so where to put this? Well, that line of white plastic I laid in it's extreme mulching. I laid it in a contour ditch that I dug about 30 years ago. And I started with that, and I wanted to be able to drive around below that, and I sort of wanted to find the highest ground, but it's sort of hard to do. And I had a plan about how to do that, but then as I was looking around, I realized that actually I could line this right up with an axis line that comes through that building and another building behind it that will be there. And so that I got to, I've said before, when you build, you got to decide on what you're going to build, where you're going to build it, and how you're going to align it. Then you work on getting it level. Now within the site, within the area that you see, there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 windmills there. One way up on top of the hill, a small one to pump water. That's 8, isn't it? This, I'll either cut it down and make as I make a truly good one instead of just a study. But there'll always be a windmill here, sort of as a demonstration. So what's that, 9? And then over there on top of the the 2 benches will be another one. That's 10. And then there's another one that you can't see from here, so there'll be 11. All right, let me walk a little bit closer to this. These are studies. These are studies. They're just trying to visualize how it would be. And my neighbor is really a smart man, and he's built a lot of trusses as a welder. And he and I, we disagree a good bit about certain things, but anyway, we both agree that when we're, build the real thing, we'll saw these on a bevel, and I'll probably insist that the joinery be just a single pin instead of something, that's fastened in a bunch of ways. There's a car. That's, I say I'm building down here partly because I want people to slow up and take a look at what is that. So this is just pinned together. And then that second part of the tower will rest on here. All right. I think that's probably enough to say about right there. Now finally, let's go over here to the three-legged, or the two benches. I can't get quite far enough away so you can just see the whole thing in there, but those 8 uprights, they're new, that's new lumber straight from the sawmill. And this week I'll be going to get more lumber, and there'll be 8 that go there as well. It's floating, as I said. The height is right. The level, the height is right, and the level is right. The floating, this kind of thing quite disturbs my neighbor as he works with me. That I didn't, I don't know, that I let it float like that, but I'll adjust that. And there's one spot I'll absolutely have to adjust it. This, I'm not sure why that corner post is so out of plumb, but I'll figure it out. Maybe everything's twisted. And I also have the issue up there that the two didn't draw together, or the nail pulled out. I think it has to do all the way with the bottom, where maybe I don't quite have it level, and I think with a jack, with a little hydraulic jack, I can adjust that. Not real sure. Or maybe, this will be the work of this week. It could be that the issue is down there. I'm not sure. But anyway, little by little, let's see how badly the whole thing shakes. Oh, it doesn't shake too much yet. I want to show you one other thing here before I stop. Okay, as I was putting these corner boards on, which incidentally are part of that new vernacular architecture that I talk about, the corner board becomes what I call structural trim. It would just, on that building there, which you can see in a distance, which has to be finished.